Theater Conference Reframing Success. My name is Kristen Baker. I'm the I am the president of the StageSource Board of Directors. I'm also the director of a co-curricular arts program at Suffolk University. And like all of you, I'm very passionate about my work, but like all of you, I often find that there is not enough time, money, or people to do everything that I want to do. And so it's really easy to get mired in the weeds of the job that we do. I think for all of us, joyful weeds, but still weeds. And so that's one of the reasons that I love StageSource, is that it provides me sort of my Google Maps to the New England theater community. Whenever I have a problem that I need to solve, I can zoom in and get a street map for how I'm going to, what audition or what internship to recommend to a student, or helps me figure out what productions are going on this semester that I can build a curriculum around. Or I need a lighting designer and I need to find her fast. StageSource is there. Solving these problems for me. But it also gives me a chance to sort of zoom out and see things from a larger, wider perspective. What's going on with diversity, inclusion, and gender parity in our sector? What are the hot topics in arts management that I should be thinking about? How are we talking about and thinking about arts activism and mentorship? So, and the conference is my favorite time. I love the conference. I look forward to it because it's a chance to zoom out to our widest lens and focus on the really big picture and see how things connect, see how people connect, see new paths from A to B, and see new destinations to shoot for. So I'm very excited about today, but I'm mostly excited about the opportunity to talk to all of you and hear about the work that you're doing, the challenges you're facing, the successes that you've had, and what your next big idea is. Before we get started with the program for the day, I just want to say a special thank you to the StageSource staff and volunteers who put this day together for us. Big huggy thank you to our program director, Don Simmons, and of course our relentlessly optimistic and tireless executive director, Julie Hyman. To our wonderful hosts, the ART, who are giving us this space today. I think it's going to be a great place to think big and get creative. I actually flashed back when I walked in here, having been here, millions of times, but to the first time I walked into the Loeb Drama Center to see King Lear when I was still in college and have my mind literally blown. So I'm looking forward to having that experience repeated today, but without F. Murray Abraham. I assume, is he here? I didn't think so. So I want to say thank you to the ART and Diane Paulus, their artistic director. So gracious and so accommodating to us in the planning of this conference. And of course, a couple weeks ago, when Diane won that Tony Award, I was so excited because, as a Bostonian, I was so proud. But also, I knew that it meant that I get to say this. I'd like to introduce to you now Tony Award winner Diane Paulus.
Saturday at 9 a.m. to our theater and to this incredible conference. I want to say on behalf of everyone at the ART, we are so happy to be hosting this conference. One of the first things I did when I became artistic director was speak in a panel at the StageSource conference. So 5 years later, we are hosting the conference, and we couldn't be more happy about that. Thank you to the whole StageSource team for making this gathering happen, and especially to Julie Henriquez for your amazing leadership of this organization. I'm very inspired by today's theme, reframing success, and I'm very much looking forward to Steve Robbins and hearing what he has to say. I always get inspired by those life coach speeches, so I'm very much looking forward to that. I wanted to just share a few reflections on this topic and maybe just put my thoughts out there, and I look forward to seeing you all at lunch and the breakouts to continue to wrestle with this question. For me, as I think about success and I think about it for the ART, there's no question in my mind as I think about how do we think about how we frame success and how we aspire for success. It is clear in my brain that it is completely 100% linked, at least for me here at the ART, with how much we can continue to risk. And so this idea of risk and success is what is percolating in my brain today. And when I look back at my 5 years here and I think about all the risks we've taken, and they may look like successes today, but I can tell you in the front lines of it, when we thought about turning our second stage into a nightclub and convincing the Cambridge Council and city officials that a nightclub, yes, is a viable form of a theater venue, that I know it doesn't look like a theater, but yes, in fact, at the Globe Theater, people stood and some people sat, and you socialized at shows and you didn't just sit in an auditorium. When I think about doing Sleep No More and convincing my board that we were going to try a show in an abandoned school in Brookline, not really close to any public transportation, in the winter, yes, there are no seats, yes, you wear a mask, yes, you're walking through 40 rooms. So my first season, there were the first two shows really without any proper seating. Flashing forward to shows like, an opera we did with robots, to the Prometheus Bound, where our entire second act was going to be an amnesty kind of be-in, to last season, The Beautiful Lily's Revenge, where it was a 5-act, 4-hour extravaganza where a flower is aspiring to marry a bride. All these things that just are so risky that in a way are just at the heart of this question for me of what it means to be successful. And I think the question changes over your career in time, and I can certainly reflect back to being a young director and coming out of grad school when I first started the Donkey Show. And I think maybe I didn't think about risk in the same way then. It was like, well, where's there to risk? Nothing. We're all working for free. We're packing our costumes in shopping bags. We're making a show in a lobby of the grad school because our IDs still swiped, and it was just, making it out of nothing, collecting the glitter at the end of the night and sticking it in baggies to save it for the next week. And that was in New York when you could still smoke, so you were like dusting the ashes off the glitter, putting it in baggies. But I can't tell you how that spirit of risking and experimentation and making something out of nothing and breaking rules is so much a heart of what I believe in, and I'm so grateful to be at the ART, where our mission is to expand the boundaries of theater, and for me that's all about asking questions and breaking rules. And when I think about Boston, it's so thrilling to be in the city because there is such a beautiful combination of institutions that are getting ever more established and lauded and recognized. I just want to take a second to publicly honor the Huntington Theater for their Tony Award for Best Regional Theater. And organizations like the Lyric, celebrating the 40th anniversary of the theater. And truly, every company in this town that, despite economic downturn and challenges, has continued to produce work season after season. And probably the most exciting statistic that I've heard, actually, when I was an MCC visitor at StageSource for a site visit, to learn how many fringe companies are popping up in this town and how that movement has just exploded. So for me, when I think about success in Boston, it's all about how we can all, whether we're at a very established point in our institutional life or just beginning, or if we're an individual artist, I think there are many individual artists here today, how can we all, for me, continue to think about this dynamic between risk and success. So I'm so happy to be here today, so happy to be hosting this conference here at the ART, and look forward to talking about all these challenges and opportunities that lie ahead amongst all of us. So thank you very much, and I'm very honored to be able to introduce Julie Henriquez.
And good morning, everybody. It's so great to see so many people here, bright-eyed, sort of. It is a Saturday morning, and we are theater people, but we're all here to talk about reframing success. This is the 5th StageSource Theater Conference. We have them every other year. The last one, I have been the executive director for about 2.5 weeks. So my frame has been changed a bit in those 2.5 years, but I'm more excited than ever to be here at StageSource. I also am thrilled to be standing here right now. I went to college in the early 80s, and right after college, a friend of mine invited me to come to see 6 Characters in Search of an Author at the ART. Now, I had grown up going to theater with my family. We'd gone to musicals.